Did investigators cover up the involvement of other officers in the shooting death of a sheriff's deputy?
Tonight, Dickson's police chief says no. Still, News Channel 5 Investigates has now uncovered evidence that police may have missed a chance to get to the bottom of allegations coming from the deputy's widow. Our chief investigative reporter Phil Williams is on the case.
I know. I finally know. It took a year for people to finally come forward, and I feel completely blindsided.
It was this Facebook post,
I know how you bullied him,
where Brandy Bellar, the widow of Sheriff's Deputy Keith Bellar, first raised questions about the investigation into his murder by a mentally disturbed Dickson County man.
I know about the cover-up afterwards.
She posted the message after hearing from other officers that the shooter, Jason Eggenberg, had been the victim of taunting text messages from two cops claiming they were having sex with his wife. It's an allegation that Brandy believes authorities there have tried to cover up.
I think that they're afraid of the community finding out that the prevention of a shooting and the investigation of a shooting wasn't done because of small town politics.
I had absolutely no knowledge of any kind of threatening texts.
Dickson Police Chief Rick Chandler says after Bellar's shooting, he never realized there was any controversy over his department's investigation until someone told him about Brandy's Facebook post. Would your department have had any reason to want to cover this up?
No. I knew Keith. I knew him, and it was a terrible situation that happened. And if there was officers actually sending taunting texts or threatening texts, they don't need to wear a badge.
The shooting occurred after Eggenberg rammed a car driven by his wife, a dispatcher for the Dickson Police Department. When Deputy Bellar pulled up to the scene, Eggenberg opened fire, shooting him in the head. Authorities made a decision not to call in the TBI to investigate.
By looking at the facts, by looking at the circumstances, the DA's office made the decision, go ahead and let us investigate it.
So it was not your
idea
to investigate?
No, it was the DA's office.
Chief Chandler says his detectives did check out Jason Eggenberg's own Facebook page just like we did. There are posts suggesting he thought his wife was cheating with other officers, followed by a later post saying he knew she had never been unfaithful or cheated, but no mention of being bullied by anyone.
The day of the shooting, or maybe the day after the shooting, the detective that actually worked the case actually went through Mr. Eggenberg's phone.
And there was nothing
nothing on there.
Still, Brandy Bellar is suspicious about investigators' motives.
Even people who aren't my sources are getting phone calls to see whether or not they're the ones telling me. And that's the sad part, is that they're more worried about finding out who's telling me the truth versus what the truth is.
Chandler says he's just trying to find out if those officers have any real evidence or if it's all just rumor.
My thing is, if officers had knowledge of that, they hindered the investigation by not coming forth at that time. Because if they had information, we would have looked at it. We would have subpoenaed his phone records.
But our investigation discovered serious questions about whether Dickson detectives might have been told a long time ago that Eggenberg was being taunted by some cops and simply chose to ignore it. Was he receiving taunting text messages?
I remember reading one.
After Brandy Bellar reached out to Jason Eggenberg's family, his brother Jackie confirmed the story she'd been hearing from other officers. And he says just hours after the shooting, he told a Dickson detective the very same thing. You told the detective about the text messages that day?
Right. I told him that he had been receiving taunts and it wasn't against the law.
That's what he said?
Right.
And there's no doubt in your mind that you told him that day?
No doubt.
But that detective told the chief a different story.
I've talked to him. He says he did not meet with them. He did not talk to them. He's not the case agent.
Still, the brother insisted he had a witness who confirmed to us that they did indeed meet with a detective that day. If the detective says he never talked to you,
I say he's a liar.
Somebody's not telling the truth.
Either that or somebody's getting things just confused.
Is it possible that they did tell this to one of your detectives and it was swept under the rug?
No, I don't believe so.
It's an answer that Brandy herself just cannot believe.
You have a witness going to a detective to tell him about these events and they don't care.
It seems like somebody's going to have to take a polygraph.
Right.
Amen.
Would you be willing to
Absolutely.
take a polygraph?
Absolutely. No doubt.
Now, Chief Chandler, to his credit, did ask the DA to bring in the TBI to review his department's investigation, but the DA initially declined. Still, I got a statement just a few minutes ago from Dickson County Sheriff Jeff Bledsoe. In it, he says he too is now asking for an outside investigation. And Vicki, he doesn't say what form that would take, but this seems to be a big step.
But that's a little different from what the sheriff told the widow.
That's right. According to her, he told her that his department doesn't investigate rumors. But in this statement, he says that if there are facts, evidence, or anything that will support or reveal the truth, I welcome it. So this could be a big development.
Sure could. Thanks, Phil. Well, sources tell News Channel 5 that one of the options being discussed would be for the DA to bring in a special prosecutor to decide how to proceed. We'll stay on top of the story and let you know what happens.